Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss second part of fourth unit, chemical kinetics. So in this part we are going to discuss about the factors influencing rate of reaction, and then we will discuss the concentration as a factor. Related to concentration, few more things will come, like rate law, order and molecularity. Okay, so we will be discussing all those. Okay, so now we will start with factors influencing rate of a reaction. So there are mainly three factors on which rate of a reaction means speed of a reaction depends. First, concentration of reactants, then temperature of a reaction, then catalysts. So one by one we are going to discuss. If we talk about concentration of reactants, then any reaction completes because of collisions between reactant molecules. Okay, now if there is increase in concentration of reactant, then it means number of collisions will also increase. Now if number of collisions increase, then what will be the result? The speed of reaction will be more. Okay, so with the increase in concentration of reactants, since number of collisions increases, so rate of reaction becomes faster. Similarly, with the increase in temperature, what happens? Kinetic energy of molecules increases. Now with the increase in kinetic energy, they can move faster and faster, and so collisions will be there, and if collisions are there, then more products will be formed, and so what will be the result? Rate of reaction will be higher. Then third is catalyst. Now catalyst, if we use, and if it is positive catalyst, then it will increase the speed of reaction. Okay, increasing the speed of reaction means the rate of reaction will increase. Why it is able to do so? Because involvement of catalyst changes the mechanism of the reaction. Okay, now when we talk about concentration, dependence on concentration of a reaction, then one term comes, rate law. Okay, now what is rate law? It is we can say modified form or another form of law of mass action. Law of mass action you have done. What was law of mass action? The rate of a reaction is directly proportional to concentration of the reactants, with each concentration term raised to the power equal to its stoichiometric coefficient. Now when we take power of concentration as a stoichiometric coefficient, then it becomes law of mass action. And if we take that power equal to the order of reaction with respect to that particular reactant, then it becomes a rate law. Okay, so what is rate law? Rate law is the expression in which reaction rate is given in terms of molar concentrations of the reactants, with each concentration term raised to some power. That power is equal to order with respect to that particular reactant. So that power may or may not be the same as the stoichiometric coefficient. Okay, so this power is to be calculated experimentally. Okay, now again, mathematically, how can we write this rate law? Okay, so this is also known as differential rate law. Now suppose this is the reaction. Now since in this we are going to consider the concentrations of reactants only. Okay, so how can we write for this particular reaction? We can write the rate law as this. For this reaction, rate law is this. Okay, so what is rate law? It is the relationship between rate of a reaction, rate constant, K is rate constant, and these when we write like this in square bracket, some reactant or some product, then it means molar concentration of that particular species. Just like here I will say this is molar concentration of A, or we say it is active mass of A. Okay, so these powers x, y and z, these powers are called orders. they are called order with respect to A, B and C. So X is the order with respect to A, Y is the order with respect to B and Z is the order with respect to C. If we combine these X plus Y plus Z, then that will give the overall order of this reaction. Okay. So what is the reaction means, what is the rate law? It is represented like this. Okay, here this thing is K is a rate constant. Okay, A, B, C within square brackets, they are concentration terms, and X, Y, Z, they are orders with respect to A, B and C, and they are determined experimentally. Okay, now let us take one example. Suppose this reaction we are talking about. Now when we study this reaction, then for this reaction rate law is written like this. Now what does it mean? It means rate of reaction is equal to rate constant multiplied by the molar concentrations of the reactants, with each concentration term raised to the power, in this case it is 1, 1, 1. So 1 is the order with respect to Br negative, 1 is the order with respect to BrO3 negative, and 1 is the order with respect to H positive. So total order of reaction is equal to 3. Okay, so this way we do it. Now sometime we are asked define rate constant. So how will be defining rate constant? If I take A, B, C, if I take concentration terms A, B and C as equal to unity, then what will be there? K will be equal to reaction rate. So it means we can define the rate of reaction as equal to rate constant if molar concentrations of the reactants are taken as unity. Okay. Now let us take some more examples to better understand what is order. Okay, now see, if we take this reaction, then for this reaction a rate law can be written as we can say rate law, we can say rate law expression, or simply rate expression. Okay, in whichever way we want to say, we can say it. Now see, for this reaction, this is the rate law. It means rate of reaction is equal to K multiplied by molar concentration of CHCl3 into molar concentration of Cl2 raised to power 1 by 2. So it means the order of reaction with respect to CHCl3 is 1 and with respect to Cl2 it is 1 by 2. So overall order of reaction is 1 plus 1 by 2 means it is 3 by 2. Similarly, for this reaction, if we write the rate law, then it is like this. So what does it mean? It means the rate of reaction is independent of the concentration of H2O. It only depends on the concentration of this, and this reaction is of first order. Okay, so what is there? From this we can say that we cannot write these powers directly by seeing the chemical equation. These powers are to be experimentally determined. Okay, so this is what we can understand from these examples. Now next is order of a reaction. Now how can we define the order? Okay, sum of the powers of the concentrations of the reactants in the rate law expression is called order of the reaction. So what we have to do? We have to write first rate law expression, and in rate law expression the powers of the concentration terms of reactants, they are to be experimentally calculated. Then we can define what is the order. Okay, sum of those powers will be the order of overall order of reaction, and whatever will be the power of a particular species, that will be the order with respect to that species. Okay, now what different values order can have? It can have these values 0, 1, 2, 3 and even fractional value. Okay, 0 order means that the particular concentration of the ion of the reactant is not changing the rate of reaction, whether it is less or it is more or it is whatever we do to that concentration, it will not change the rate of reaction. Okay. Now suppose there is a reaction which completes in one step, then we will say it is elementary reaction. And if a reaction completes in more than two steps, two or more than two steps, then we will say it is a complex reaction. Now for complex reaction we are going to discuss three types of ways in which we can calculate the order of reaction. Okay. So first let us discuss what are the units of rate constant. Okay, now see, for this particular general reaction we can write the rate law as rate of reaction is equal to rate constant into concentration of A raised to power x, concentration of B raised to power y. This is multiplication between the concentration of A and concentration of B. Okay. Now x and y are to be experimentally calculated and that will give the order of reaction. Now suppose n is the order of reaction because it is calculated by adding the powers. So x plus y will give the order of reaction. Now if I have to calculate the units of K, then how will I write? I will write like this. Now I will write like this: rate is equal to K into concentration of A raised to power x into concentration of B raised to power y. X plus y gives n. So K is equal to rate divided by product of the molar concentrations of A and B raised to their orders. Okay. Now when we are saying that order of reaction is equal to n, then since we have to write only units, okay, so concentration of A into concentration of B, they will be having the units of concentration and those units are mole per liter. X plus y is equal to n, so we have written like this. Okay. Now rate is change in concentration over change in time. So units of rate will be change in concentration over change in time, and units of A raised to power x into B raised to power y will be concentration units raised to power n, because x plus y is equal to n. Okay. Now if we arrange them this thing, then what it will become? It will be equal to concentration units raised to power 1 minus n and then time inverse. Okay, where n is equal to order of reaction. Okay, so if order of reaction is 1, then what we will be getting? Units of concentration raised to power 0. Anything raised to power 0 is equal to 1. So this thing will become 1, and units of K will be time inverse. Now if time is taken in seconds, then for first order reaction units will be second inverse. Okay. Now if we talk about zero order reaction, then units of concentration, which are mole per liter, raised to power 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 means 1. So mole per liter raised to power 1, it means here till this particular point we will get mole per liter, and then time inverse. Time inverse means second inverse. So these will be the units for zero order reaction. Okay. Similarly, for any order reaction we can find out the units. Okay. So in general, what is to be remembered? We can remember like this: K is equal to mole per liter raised to power 1 minus n into second inverse. Okay, where we have taken concentration in mole per liter and time in second. Okay, where n is order of reaction. Okay, so this is the easiest way to find out the units of K. Okay, now let us discuss few examples. First is calculate the overall order of a reaction which has the rate expression. This is the rate expression and this is the rate expression. So what we have to do? We have to add the powers of concentration of A and concentration of B. So what we will be getting here, this way we will add and we will get 2 for A reaction. for B reaction we will be getting 3 by 2 plus minus 1. So this is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, so this will give the order of reaction. Now in second example, we have to identify the reaction order. What is the order of reaction? Now how can we identify? This value doesn't matter, this value may have any value, but we have to see the units only. Okay, so here what is written? Liter per mole. Okay, and then second inverse. Okay, now we will put the values in the general formula. What is general formula? Mole per liter raised to power 1 minus n second inverse. Okay, so if I put here 0 in place of n, if I put 0, then 1 minus 0 means 1, so what should come? Mole per liter, but here it is liter per mole. So now I am putting 1. If I put 1, then 1 minus 1 is 0, so mole per liter raised to power 0 means 1, so again it is not there. Now when I put n equal to 2, then 1 minus 2 is equal to minus 1. With minus 1 when I will multiply, I will get mole inverse liter raised to power 1. So this reaction belongs to such reaction having this K value, or these units belong to the reaction having second order. Now for this I will again put the values. If n value is 1, then 1 minus 1 is 0, so mole per liter raised to power 0 means 1. So n value is 1, then only we will be getting the units as second inverse. Okay, so how we have to do? We have to put the different values of n, and then we have to calculate this. For whichever value of n we find the same units, that will be the order of reaction. Okay, now another term comes, molecularity of a reaction. Now what do we mean by molecularity? Molecularity of a reaction means how many number of reacting species are taking part in an elementary reaction which are colliding simultaneously. Okay, so if there is only one species, then we will say it is unimolecular reaction. Just like in case of ammonium nitrate, if it decomposes, then we are having only one molecule in reactant side, so we will say it is unimolecular, or its molecularity value is 1. Now if we take this decomposition of hydroiodic acid, then 2 molecules of HI are there in the reactant side, so molecularity value is 2, or we will say it is bimolecular reaction. Similarly, trimolecular or termolecular, there 3 species will be there in the reactant side. Okay, now again we come to complex reaction. In case of complex reaction, as we discussed earlier, there are more than 2 or more than 2 steps in the completion of reaction. Okay, now which particular step will be the rate determining step? So what we are going to do is, we will see the rate of reaction or speed of reaction for all the steps. For whichever step the speed is lowest, okay, that step will be termed as rate determining step. Okay, so 2 things we have to remember here. When we are talking about complex reaction, then complex reaction means the reactions which complete in 2 or more than 2 steps. They are called complex reactions. Okay, now all those steps in which that reaction completes, collectively they are known as mechanism of reaction. Okay, now when we compare the speeds of all the steps, then that step is called rate determining step, which is the slowest step. Okay, so now we will be discussing 3 different ways in which complex reaction order can be determined. Now first example, we are given decomposition of H2O2 in the presence of I negative. So the mechanism is, in the first step this thing happens and this step is slow. In the second step this happens and it is fast. Now here K1 denotes the rate constant for first step, K2 denotes the rate constant for second step. In first step H2O2 plus I negative, these are reactants. H2O and IO negative, these are products, with K1 as rate constant. Similarly, for second step, H2O2 plus IO negative are the reactants, and H2O plus IO2 plus I negative, these are products, with K2 as rate constant. Now, whatever we have studied till now, on the basis of that, what we will see? We will see the slowest step. So this is the slowest step out of all steps. Okay. Now, when we know the slowest step, then we can directly write the rate law on the basis of that equation. Now, how we have to write? Rate constant will come there, and whatever are the stoichiometric coefficients of the reacting species in slowest step, those stoichiometric coefficients will be the orders with respect to those two or more than two reactants. Okay. Now, when we have seen the first step is the slowest step, then we will write the rate law directly by seeing this step. Okay. So how we will write? Rate of reaction is equal to rate constant into molar concentration of H2O2 raised to power 1, because 1 is the stoichiometric coefficient, multiplied by concentration of I negative raised to power 1. Okay. And that will become the rate law. Okay. Now, what is the order of reaction? We have to add their powers. So, order of reaction is 2 in this case. Okay. So, this is the very simple way to determine the order of complex reaction. It was first type of reaction. Now, we come to second type of reaction. Now, we may be given such reaction in which there are steps like this. Okay. Now, the question is that for this particular reaction, we have to deduce the rate law, and the mechanism is given to us. So, first of all, from the mechanism we will see the slowest step. So, slowest step is second step. This is the slowest step in which H2 and Br, these are the reactants, HBr and H, they are the products, and K2 is the rate constant. Okay. Now, first of all, we will write the rate law just by seeing this step. Now, we have seen the step and we have written like this. Okay, this is rate law. Now, we will stop here if the species given in terms of active mass or in square brackets, they are same as the reactants. If it is so, then we will stop here, and here our answer will be complete. But in this case, we are having Br, and Br is not there in reactants. So, Br is not there in reactants, so we have to calculate the value of Br first. Okay. Now, how to calculate? So, we need to calculate the value, this value, Br, active mass of Br or molar concentration of Br. Now, we will go to first step and we will write the equilibrium constant for this. Okay. Now, see here, what does it mean? It means K1 is the rate constant for forward reaction, K minus 1 is the rate constant for backward reaction. This is the meaning. Okay. So, since it is in equilibrium and we know rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. So, if we write like this, then rate of forward reaction is this, just like we write here. Okay. Rate of forward reaction, this is according to law of mass action. Rate of forward reaction is equal to K1 into square bracket of Br2, and rate of backward reaction is K minus 1 into active mass of Br raised to power 2. Okay. Now, from this equation we will determine the value of Br in terms of concentration of one of the reactant. Okay. These things are constant, so doesn't matter. So, now we have calculated the value of Br, and this value we will put there in the rate law, and then we are getting overall this thing, rate is equal to K into concentration of H2. Now, when we got the value of Br, then after putting the value we are getting this, rate is equal to K into molar concentration of H2 into molar concentration of Br2 raised to power 1 by 2. So, this is the rate law now for this given reaction. And what is the overall order of reaction? 1 plus 1 by 2 means 1.5, or we can say 3 by 2, or we can say 1.5. Now one more thing, one more way. See, we may be asked like this, that there is a reaction of decomposition of N2. Now when there is decomposition of N2O5, then it is like this. Only reactant is this, because it is decomposing. Okay. Now there will be some products. Okay. Now for this reaction, mechanism is given. This is the mechanism. Okay. Now from this mechanism, for this reaction, we have to calculate the rate log. Now first of all, we will see the slowest step. This is the slowest step. So on the basis of this step, we will determine the rate law. Okay, here again K2 is the rate constant for the reaction. In the third step, K3 is the rate constant for the third step. This is for second, this is for third. Okay. Now from slowest step, we have written the rate law. Rate law is rate of reaction is equal to rate constant into molar concentration of NO2 into molar concentration of NO3. Now since these two things are not there in the reactant side, what is our reactant side? Reactant side is decomposition of N2O5. So reactants are this only. N2O5, it gives products. Okay. So we will calculate in terms of N2O5. Now again we will come to first step, and we will write the equilibrium constant expression. So equilibrium constant K is equal to product of the molar concentrations of products divided by molar concentrations of reactants. So this expression we will get from equilibrium first. So from here we will get this value. This value is equal to K times N2O5 molar concentration, and then we will put here the value. So we will get rate of reaction equal to K multiplied by K2 into N2O5 molar concentration raised to power 1. So K into K2 is a constant. We can replace it by K also. Okay, and molar concentration of N2O5 raised to power 1. So what is the order of reaction? 1 is the order of reaction. So these are different ways in which you may be asked to find out the rate law for complex reactions. Okay. Now whatever we have discussed, on the basis of that, you have to explain, you have to solve these home assignments. Okay. Thank you.